Thank you very much for patiently watching through it. I just would like to thank a couple of items before I proceed into the presentation. The video that you guys saw is a fruition of 8-year collaboration between RX Data Science and KX. So I am here to call that out. Just because of the time and the effort that the leadership team has put in, we could showcase this outcome today in a different vertical domain other than financial industry. It has been well known that KDB had performed great many things in the financial world, whereas when it comes to other industry penetration, just like Ashok had called out and Neelkant had highlighted as well, other domains are still lagging and the potential has not been realized on that part. This one is to encourage us and to see through that yes, it is possible to have solutions built for other domains as well. So that's the premise. The background for this is to see how can we use resources better, especially in the clinical world, where a particular study is going to be conducted on in which therapeutic area, if you will, or for what kind of disease states that you want to take care. So that's the premise. So in general drug development, you're going to have 3 parts to it: identification of which therapeutic area you want to focus, how you want to model that, and then you're going to make decisions on which area you wanted to invest in the trial by itself. Whereas in the solution that we have provided here, we have broken that down into 3 different components: the pharmacokinetics, and then the dynamics, and then the base that goes along with it. The triangulation of these 3 is going to give us the best outcome. Having this in mind, if we were to be able to simulate these items with the known parameters from the clinicians, then it makes our life much easier to put the resources where it's needed, and we have a better probability of the drug being moved to stage 3 and 4. So that's the thought process here. So the solution that we have built, we call it as QPAR for Q parallel processing. It's scalable. It has hyperlanguage support inbuilt into it in the model, and we also have ability to optimize the performance because it's iterative. You can decide the outcomes that come through, and then we take decisions of that. The way the architecture has been designed is to scale, right? So you wanted to, in the real world, if a particular clinical trial is happening, you will have some amount of sample subjects. You have to get the base ready, get their consent, and then you go into deployment of it. Whereas in the simulation world here, you can have the same parameters given, whereas expect different outcomes, collate all of those things together and see the viability of it. Basically going back to the same, the kinetics as well as the viability of the drug within the human age group or the sector that you wanted to focus on. Here, the inputs are decided by the clinicians, and they give the tech stack, run so many times and let me know the outcome, right? The biggest power that we have with KX is the deployment capability of it into any number of solutions that you want and get the outputs all collated in a tangible manner where it can give them an informed decision-making process. Should I proceed with this or not? Should I change my other parameters? And these things save a lot of time and money when we actually have to go and conduct the study. So that's the key element in this, right? This just gives a nice front end for the guys to work through. The scientist perspective, in layman terms, is when the data set is shared with the boundary conditions, the QPAR master, the monitoring tool, accepts these variables, spans n number of servers, executes that, collates all the data back, and then gives back to the clinician in a manner where they can make their call. Should I go with it or not? And these things can run anywhere between 15 minutes to a couple of hours. in the real world, it's just not possible to even comprehend those items in the human lifetime cycles. So here you have stipulated population in which you can administer these items from the earlier outcomes that have come in the real world. So that's the key element here. So these are the general features that are normally not necessarily available in the market, but is inbuilt with us. They support the scalability, the cost efficiency, the multi-language support, reliability, and very key item is the auto shutdown. When things are not used, it's taken care automatically. And the stability. We have noted that somewhere around in 1 million and odd simultaneous simulations in a given particular one-time activity, there are like maybe 1 or 2 errors and loss, and then that is re-triggered and completed. And that's the scale of efficiency that we see. And that's because of the KXS IO operation capability that is well known, right? So that's the inner heart that we are been using for generating these outcomes. This just shows how the operational aspects a clinician or the supervisor need to think through, like what is the cost of running this? So it gives them a picture so that they can make a particular simulation, how much time and money it might take, right? So that just enriches their understanding. Compared to the real world, these are nothing, but still that has to be accounted. That brings us to the end of it. Any questions or so, if you have, you guys can come and talk to us later, and then we can take it from there. Thank you.